The Roman candle. The victims were tied and nailed to tall stakes. Then flammable liquid was poured over them before they were set alight. The fire started at the pit to prolong their suffering. Being burned alive. Molten gold. The victim would be restrained and their mouth forced open as heated gold was poured down their throat. The result would be severe damage to distal organs and the blistering of the lungs, ultimately leading to immediate death. Impalement. The person was positioned above the spike, which was inserted partway up the rear privates. As gravity took hold, the spike would run them through, avoiding major organs and exiting through the skin of their shoulder or neck. A person could survive this for several days. I would say B underneath the Roman candle because this thing is you're being burned alive, but this thing you're impaled. So I think B tier. Rat torture. A rat was placed inside a small cage positioned against the victim's abdomen. The cage was heated from the outside either by a candle, flaming stick, or hot coals, causing the rat to become agitated. So how could the rat escape? By clawing its way into the only available soft surface, the human skin. Quite quickly, the rat would gnaw its way into the victim's bowels, eliciting unbearable agony in the process. Clearly a C tier. Crucifixion involved being tied or nailed to a wooden beam or cross. Nails were pierced through the bones below the wrist to bear the weights of the person. The feet were nailed to the vertical part of the cross, and once the legs weakened, the arms had to hold up the body, resulting in the shoulder being pulled from their sockets. Crucifixion is SS. Yeah, it's S. The thing is so painful, so S tier. Tickle torture, dipping the victim's feet in salt solution and then have a goat lick the bottom of the pit. This would start out as a normal tickling, but then the pain that follow will be extreme. I'd say it will be a C tier. Above the rat torture, yeah, C tier. Swedish drink. Involve forcing the victim to drink dangerous amount of foul manure urine, thus making the stomach bloat up to painful levels. If the victims didn't answer the interrogator's questions, they stamp on their tummies or ran horses over them. C tier. Above the tickle. I think tickle is D. Rat, yeah. Tickle is D or E. Swedish drink is D. Rat torture. Pillory is a device made of a wooden or metal framework erected on a post with holes for securing the head and hand. This F tier. No explanation needed. Stocks. Stocks are pit retraining devices that were used as form of corporal punishment and public humiliation. Same with pillory. Boiling alive is a method of execution in which person is killed by being immersed in a boiling liquid. C tier. Below rat torture. Scold's bridle. It was an iron muscle in the iron framework that enclosed the head. A bridle bit was slid into the mouth and pressed down on top of the tongue, often with a spike on the tongue as a compress. Function to silence the wearer from speaking entirely to prevent the woman from nagging. That's clearly an E tier. Blood eagle. The victim would lie in a prone position and be kept alive as their back was sliced open. Their ribs were detached from their spine and their lungs pulled through the opening to form a pair of blood wings. Clearly, blood wings, ay, blood eagle will be S tier. Below crucifixion. I think they're tied. For me, they are tied for first right now. Escapism. The victim was stripped naked and then firmly fastened with a face-to-face pair of narrow rowing boats, with the head and lips protruding. The condemned was forced to drink milk and honey to the point of developing severe diarrhea, and honey will be rubbed on his body to attract insects to the exposed appendages, eyes, and genitals. He would then be left to float on a stagnant part or be exposed to the sun. The defenseless individual feces accumulated within the container, attracting more insects, which would eat and breed within his exposed flesh, which became increasingly gangrenous. Escapism will be A tier, below molten. The bread reaper was often heated during torture. It contained pork loaves, which were used to slowly rip the breast from women. Breast reaper, I think, is A tier, above Scab's bridle. Yeah, they are the same, almost the same. Keng. The keng will be placed on top of the cage, such that prisoner's feet could not quite touch the ground. Support will be placed under the feet initially, so that he will stand without pressure on the neck. Gradually, the support will be removed, forcing the gag to slow strangle him. Gag will be F tier. Gag will be E tier. This thing without a support in your neck, you're probably strangled. Choke fur. The mechanism consists of a bear-shaped metal body divided into spoon-like segments that can be spread apart with a spring or by turning a key. Proposed functionality as a torture device is to be various inserted into the mouth, rectum, or vagina. This torture device is so simple, so I will say it's C tier, above the rat. Still painful. Iron chair. The victim was seated on several strips or plates of brass and placed over the open flame and slowly roasted alive. I will say this B tier, below impalement, or C tier, above pear choke or choke pear. Nail hauling. The sailor was stripped, tied, and suspended by a rope from the ship mast, with weights or chains attached to their legs. The rope was looped beneath the ship, and once the sailor was released, they were dragged under the Nile. It's completely C tier. Above the iron chair. Lynching. The process involved tying the condemned prisoner to a wooden frame, usually in a public place. The flesh was then cut from the body in multiple slices. C tier. Yeah. Above the iron chair. C tier. Rack. The victims were forced to lay down, after which leather strap belts bound their waists and heels. The strap had chain or ropes tied to them, which wound over the axles. Then slowly push the levers, causing the axles to rotate and produce tension in the chains. This caused the straps to dig into the prisoner's skin and gradually stretch their body outwards. Rock will be D tier, above king, below Swedish drink. Tongue tearer. It was used to remove the tongue of the traitor with little effort. The iron tongue tearer was placed into hot plates to heat up before being clamped down onto the tongue, which was then twisted 3 times before being yanked out. D tier, above Swedish drink. Strapado. The victims have their arms tied behind their backs. A large rope is then tied to the wrist and passed over a pulley, beam, or a hook on the rope. The torturer pulls on this rope until the victim is hanging from the arms. Since the hands are tied behind the victim's back, this will cause a very intense pain and possible dislocation of the arms. You're gonna get dislocated, so probably D tier. You won't die unless they kill you. The White Room. The victim escaped in long periods of solitary confinement in a white room without any windows. His clothes are white, is given white food on a white plate, and the guard outside wears soft footwear to muffle their sounds. So I would say this B tier, above the Roman candle, even though this thing is not painful, but mentally it is. Bamboo torture. A restrained victim will be made to sit a bamboo sapling. A bamboo grows really fast. In this case, the sapling will tear the anus and continue its journey inside the victim's body. Bamboo will be A tier, below nail hauling. Playing alive. The victim was first stripped and their hands and feet bound to stop any movement. After this, the executioner will begin peeling away the individual's skin with sharp blade, often starting with the head, as this area will inflict the most suffering due to the victim still being conscious. So basically, you are being skinned alive. S tier, clearly. Judas chair. You place the waist harness around the victim and then slowly lower him onto the pyramid-shaped seat, with the pointy top inserted into their anus. With the downward pressure caused by the victim's body, the muscle around the orifice will eventually tear, thereby impaling the victim. Clearly a C tier. Chinese water torture. The torture method involves holding a person in place while slowly dripping cold water on their face, forehead, or scalp. The splash of water is jarring, and the victim experiences anxiety while trying to anticipate the next drop. That's clearly also a C tier, below the Judas chair. I think the molten gold is S tier. Imagine you have to drink molten gold. So what do you think of my rating? Do you agree or disagree? Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye. Have a nice day.